This is Fantasy Football Till Death. V17.
I'm a bad guy, but I don't give a fuck about your name, about your fame. I don't give a fuck. I'm a good guy, you already know. But when we get home, I'm fucking you all over the floor.
All right.
What's going on, everybody? You asked for it, and here we are, week 4, baby. Week 4. Is it week
3.
Week 3 of the NFL, but
Week 3.
Pod 4?
Pod 4. Week 3.
Pod 4. Okay, a little mixed up there, but hey, it's your boys. We're back. I'm your league mate, Thomas Wright, joined alongside, as always,
As always, 0-2, Mister. Started from the bottom, and I'm still here.
Last week we're the 0-1 bros. I had to break free from Mr. Singh over there. And
You
join
broke free.
The one-win club, and one is huge in a lot of places. So,
You broke free, and Tua broke his brain.
dude, you and quarterbacks, man. But hey, we're pleased to bring you another episode here of the FFtilD podcast. We're just, I think, maybe a couple episodes away from having all those sponsorships knocking on the door.
Yeah, from syndication, record deals, TV spots.
No more lotto tickets, man. This is it.
This
is
is
our
it.
way out.
Spread the word, boys.
This is our way
Please.
out. Anyways, yeah, we're stoked here.
We got a good show for you guys today. We're going to quick recap, do some storylines, what's happening in the NFL, what's happening in our league. We're going to do a new segment for you, Trending Up, Trending Down, where we pick some players that we think are trending up or trending down. You know we had to bring back Suicide Watch of the Week. Stay tuned to see if there's some familiar faces on that list. We got another sick interview with a league member. That one's going to fire on all cylinders. We are going to do some power rankings for you guys. We're going to do a little bit of gambling here on the podcast. Don't tell your wife. And then we're going to, talk a little shit about each other. So with all that being said, you want to lead us off? Some storylines of the week?
Thank you. Well done, by the way.
Thank you very much.
That was professionally done, that lineup there, that agenda. I like it. Yeah, I think we could just hop right in. I think as it pertains to storylines, I think we can all be in agreement. The number one storyline going into week 3 is the injury bug, and it has hit hard. I don't know how many people in the league have dodged it. Some familiar faces I feel like have. And
we're not pointing any fingers here. No.
But most of us, a good majority, have got hit hard by it. Injuries.
They suck.
Has it ever been this bad week 2?
No, it's never been this bad week 2. I mean, the one thing I'll say though, well, no, this might not be true, but everyone that we thought might get injured seems to be leading the charge and getting injured. Like there's been a few surprises, right?
Yeah.
But like CMC, Debo, Puka, Cooper Kupp, all of Casey's team, Tua, his brain, There's some AJ surprise. CD showed up on the report this week. That came out of nowhere. So
he's good now, but yeah.
Yeah, he's big.
Some big names across the board. Man, Casey's team. We called it Team Glass. Team Glass, staying true to its name. And Casey, I mean, all that to say, it still sucks. Even if someone is injury prone or injury risk, it still sucks. It doesn't mean they have to get injured. And that was an avalanche of injuries. I mean, big names across the board.
Big names. Oh, especially Debo, like having a sick game, and then it comes out that he's going to miss a couple weeks.
Crazy.
Yeah, that really sucks.
That was a cherry on top for Casey's team.
Yeah. It's not looking too good for that team. It's not looking. I'm no profit, but it's not looking too good for his team. But alas, this is why we play the game. They call it a game of inches any given Sunday. We had some trades this week. Brendan made some trades this week.
That guy is on fire.
He loves wheeling and dealing.
Yeah, he is. He's a businessman.
He is.
His mind is always working. Happy to, man. It's It was short-lived when he was out, but it feels good to have Brennan back.
It feels so good to have him
league.
back. I know Jack's off doing big things, top of the world, Mount Everest, CEO kind of things. But like Brendan, you bring so much to the league, dude. It's just good to have you back in the chat, back managing your own team, back with your finger on the pulse, making these deals. So
can I step in here real quick to give a little, just a quick story about the Brendan and Jack thing?
Yeah.
So I hope Jack's not listening. I know he normally listens to these, but hopefully he doesn't listen to this one.
Yeah,
But,
I think he was busy this week.
So Brendan was out, and I was just thinking, like, man, we obviously need Brendan to break free from Ken's team. Not nothing to do with Ken. I just having Brendan back as his owner of his own team is what we needed for the integrity of our league, for the sanctity of the league. So I'm sitting there and just thinking, like, it would be nice to just somehow get Jack out. So I'm texting Brendan on the side, like, hey man, you're good to go, right? Like you're good to take up a team and be back in the fold as your own manager. He's like, yep, I'm good. It's like, all right, here's what you need to do. You need to firstly, we'll craft up a text, shoot it over to Jack, just shoot it over, give him an out. Brendan says, okay. Brendan sends him a text. Doesn't work. He sends it back. Yeah, appreciate it. I think I'm good for now. I go, okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of work myself. So then I text Jack, because it had been kind of hard with communication with him. I'm just like, hey, Jack, dude, like, I know that we blow up this group chat all the time. Like, we're obviously pretty into it. Like, I can imagine it can be somewhat annoying for you and blah, blah, blah. I kind of give him this little soapbox, little sob story. And he gives me something back like, no, dude, like, this is hilarious. You guys are funny. Like, I love this chat.
It's
blah,
so
blah, blah.
cute to watch you guys having fun.
Like, yeah, so cute that you guys actually have time to invest in fantasy football when I'm running a multi-billion-dollar empire and also training to climb Mount Everest. But it's cute. Anyways, we went back and forth a couple of times, and I was just basically like, hey, dude, if you're not into it, it's totally cool. It wouldn't hurt any feelings if you dropped out. Like, we'll be good.
He's like, no, I'm into it. You're like, it's okay.
He was like, I mean, I was the direction I wanted to go, but basically I was just like, kind of let it go. And, but he was like, yeah, I'll definitely let you know. Not less than a week later, he sends me the text like, hey, I'm so sorry, man. I'm going to have to drop out. And I was like, hey, it's all good. I would just text the league, let them know. They'll appreciate that. And there he went.
And off into the sunset.
And then he rode
on
out.
his yacht.
I don't know if I'd really actually told that whole story of like
no, and I didn't
the
know
genesis
that story.
of that. Yeah.
No, I mean it makes sense because Jack's text did come out of the blue, but also wasn't surprising at all.
Yeah,
it was like he just got out of an interview with Bloomberg and then was like chilling with Nims Dye or whatever his name is. Yeah, I mean, well, that's interesting. Anyways, we're glad to have you back, B. We're glad to have you back. And making trades. B unloaded the cancer in his locker room and Jamar Chase to yours truly this week. So I've taken on that rehabilitation project in exchange for Rashad White, Bucky Irving, and DK Metcalf coming off of what looks like a really promising performance. And then
so tell me, let's not just skip over
over
that
it.
super quick. I mean, Jamar is in some leagues, he was a number 1 overall pick. I mean, he's the top 3 for a lot of people, especially PPR. I mean, that's a huge name. Really slow start for the season for the Bengals. Some concerns with Burrow's wrist there. Obviously, I don't think it's all simpatica over there in the locker room or with the management, right?
The way
Seems
Jamar
like
Chase was having a tantrum all day Sunday makes me think, yeah, it's not simpatico.
it doesn't seem like they're all sunshine and rainbows over there. But all that to say, a lot of people, think this is the breakout week 3. So
it appears to be on paper like this might be a good week. Yeah,
was this a mega buy low? I know you've been itching to make an upgrade. I mean, just to make a trade, you're a fiend. So
yeah.
How do you feel post trade, finally getting it in?
My biggest disappointment coming out of the draft is I didn't have a top 10 guy. And I told myself I was going to get that guy and I didn't. So it feels really good to get the guy on paper who's top 10. But we'll see. Things haven't been great for Jamar. I know he missed all preseason and contract dispute and everything like that, but he really looked kind of like a cancer on the sideline last week. So I don't know. Yeah, I figured it was a little bit of a buy low. The metrics, I mean,
DK pops. I mean,
DK's sick, and I know Rashad carried Brennan to the championship last year. So Figured
He'll coach him up. It's a good match.
He'll coach him up. Yeah. It was a good time to get in and we'll see. I mean, it's Jamar Chase, so you got to think he's going to turn it around here.
This is the week.
And it's a good get right week. But if it doesn't get right this week and I watch DK and Rashad combined for like 45, I'm going to be, it's going to just suck, but whatever. That's how it goes. And then B turned right around and swapped Olave and London with a little side kicker of Cam Akers with Ken. So Ken's now moved on from MHJ to London before the season even started. London finally scored a touchdown last week, and that was about all Ken needed to see to ship him off for Olave. So,
You know what's funny? I did a little group chat with me and Jason and Kendall after week 1, the Spider-Man meme with Marvin, Olave, and Drake all pointing at each other, and I kind of like labeled them and sent it out just to everyone because they all scored less than 2. And now he's got that full triangle. He's got it. He's
touched them all.
Yeah, yes, he's got them all. So that's awesome.
Touched them all.
I didn't even notice that until like 30 minutes ago that trade was done.
It was quiet. No one really talked about it. Obviously, last week B traded Bijan for Mixon and Olave, and unfortunately Mixon got hurt immediately. So B's looking for some backup. He thinks Akers might be that guy. A lot of people think Pierce will be that guy, like TBD. But anyway, swapping Olave and London. As far as pre-draft ADP and stuff like that goes, Olave and London kind of close. So, I can see it's really just
super close.
Yeah, you which one looks better to you? So we'll see how it plays out. Ken's still looking for the right fit there in his wide receiver room. So
he's making moves.
I think he's focusing on the wrong part of his roster, but he's making moves.
He's got a couple. There's some RBs there. The waiver wire. I think that's also a little bit of a storyline. I know Ken tried to hype it up a little bit more than maybe it was, but definitely the most active waiver wire activity I think this week. Some interesting pickups. There's people in lineups now. Some injuries that have springboarded people into starting lineups. You got P. Ryan starting for Ken, so we'll see how that works out. I do think I did want to put on notice as a storyline. Last week, I mentioned between the Trip and Luke matchup. We talked about the power rankings. I said Luke was due for some positive regression, and lo and behold,
Spring. You said Spring was due for positive regression.
No, positive regression for Luke.
Positive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Positive.
We're talking
I said
positive.
Yeah. Positive. So I said, look out for that matchup and look out for Luke's point total. And lo and behold, top score of the week. So shout out to Luke. Hopefully that goes back down this week when he's playing my powerhouse Lad McConkey.
Powerhouse. Yeah, we got some things right last week and we got some things wrong. Quick highlight. Someone said Anthony Richardson is a beast. Someone said Tua would be a good replacement for Love. Someone said Cooper Kupp's looking like an amazing pick. So, podcasting fantasy football is kind of like reading horoscopes. It just, however the cookie crumbles.
That was Hindsight 2020, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Sponsored by Miller Lite. All right, let's get into some trending up and trending down. For this new segment, we each picked a player that we think is trending up, and we each picked a player that we think is trending down. You get that? Do you need me to explain that again?
Break it down for me a little bit more.
Trending up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
More points, better player.
Okay. All right, I hear you. You want to lead us off? Who's your player that you got trending up?
So a little unconventional, but trending up would be Devon Achane. And if that's how you pronounce his name.
Now, I say it differently every time.
Yeah. Achane.
Devon.
Channing.
Ladidi McConkey. Yeah, those guys are going at it. I get those guys' names mixed up too. Who's Key and who's Peel? Key is the guy that does that, right?
Jordan's the fatter one.
Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
He's the director.
Yeah.
The other guy is the tall
Michael
guy.
Key is the tall, skinny guy. Yeah.
Ladidi McConkey.
Hey, Ron. So Achane, obviously a lot of hype this offseason. Sponsored by Ken. Sponsored by every article that anyone ever read.
Sponsored by Miller Lite.
But, there was a lot of questions about Achane, like, could his efficiency continue? Is he going to get 9 touches a game? And you're going to have to rely on these like crazy runs and everything. Mostert goes down. Mostert's injured. Achane's been averaging like around 20 touches, 20 plus touches. I think he got well over 20 touches, I think, last week. Check me in the comments if I'm wrong. And he's still, I know he's a little banged up, but but still playing, still looking good, looking like a bell cow back. So that's why he's trending up for me. He's right now at this point in the season, you don't need to worry about him just breaking off a 65-yard touchdown. What you need to worry about is him staying healthy. But for that reason, Ben, a chain is trending up in case you hadn't noticed.
Yeah, that's a good one because I think with Achane, I mean, the two concerns were usage and injury, right?
Glass. Yeah.
Right? Glass. Those are the two concerns. At the very least, you get to cross one of those off pretty emphatically at this point. Obviously, Mostert going down helps and the other injuries in the running back room. But, I mean, week 1, his usage was there. So he's a guy that's so explosive that if you're actually going to get that kind of usage, I mean, the sky's the limit, even with a backup running back, because he can be stopped, stonewalled, average 2.5 carries for 15, and then that 16th he breaks it.
Bam.
So, yeah, I think that's a great one. I got to go. I'm obviously biased here, but after my Olave debacle, I just wanted to pick players that I liked. And one of the guys that I was super high on was my boy Jackson Smith-Njigba. He could be on a Key and Peele sketch with that name. And really slow game 1. Based off AJ's injury, my wide receiver room had to shuffle a little bit, had to make some starts that I wouldn't normally want to make. Jason stepped up to the plate, man. 12 receptions on 16 targets last week for $117. Obviously the best game of his career. I don't think with that kind of usage, it would qualify as a fluke. And just as far as the eye test goes, he looked great. And Gino's ability to get him the ball, especially underneath, was super encouraging. I think the sky's the limit for him. I mean, he's a great talent, and he needs to be super good on my team. So, for that reason.
It must have felt good starting him. It sucked when AJ got hurt. I know you were pissed about that, and he's going to be out multiple weeks, but you probably would not have started JSN if AJ was healthy.
No, I would have probably started Ladd. It would have been AJ, Ladd, and Calvin. And
then AJ could have easily gone out and put up a little goose egg, and you would have had JSN there on the bench. And I don't know. It's cool that you were able to start him and experience that firsthand.
Yeah. The butterfly effect of last week with the Bijan trade and the AJ injury, things worked out. I'll just say things worked out.
Yeah, you ate all of JSN and Calvin Ridley's amazing performances, so that's really good. Trending down. Who we got? Do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll start. And I think this one is maybe that decline started weeks and weeks ago. It was been trending down, but definitely since draft day, my number one trending down is Mr. Swift, Travis Kelce.
Mr. Swift himself.
Week 1 was rough. Week 2 is rougher.
Ooh.
And I know we've kind of talked about it. Man, I feel bad. We've mentioned Kendall a few times for maybe not the best reasons, but it's going to be tough. He's kind of an albatross right now, and obviously the season is young. He's going to have big weeks, I'm sure, but right now that's just based on the value. It's just not looking like a good situation. And I know for Kendall's team, he needs that. He needs that production, not just for his team makeup, but to open the door with some outside possibilities.
Yeah.
He wants to put his GM hat on. So yeah, my guy trending down is Travis Kelce. I mean, I think he's got 3 catches in 2 weeks, and he doesn't cumulatively have over 28 yards or something. So
it's the man's old and the man's been busy, but on the positive side, I guess it's been rough for tight ends across the board. None of the top guys have really been doing that great.
Yeah. Then again, most of those guys you didn't spend very much money on. You're getting the same production as Travis Kelce. So the trickle down is what's bad about it. It's not just the fact that you're only getting 2 points in your tight end spot.
Yep.
It's what did that tight end do for the rest of your roster based on what you spent on it.
It's a good point. It's a good, and Kansas City.
No glass half full with this guy, okay? Don't glass half full.
Sucks.
Don't
he sucks.
glass half full my trending down.
You know what?
I would never glass half full.
Who was their
backup
backup tight end? Noah Gray. He's the ad of the week. Kelce, you suck. My person that's trending down is quarterbacks in general. Persons.
They don't. Okay, sorry.
People. My people who are trending down are quarterbacks in general. It's been a weird year so far. We talked about it a little bit last week. Maybe it's the kickoff rule with most drives starting from the 30-yard line. Maybe it's the fact that a 50-plus yard field goal for just about every kicker in the league is automatic. But since 2020,
the year we took kickers out, man, and now they're just crushing.
crazy. I mean, the points that these guys are put. Kaimi Fairbairn with his like 75, 50-yard field goals already this year. That's a whole other topic we could get into is field goals, and how I think they should make the goalpost narrower. But yeah, quarterbacks have been trending down. Per game passing yards across the league have been trending down for the past 4 seasons. We are right now in the same yardage territory in terms of passing. I don't think we've seen since like 2009 was the last time that quarterbacks were throwing for as few yards as they are now. So, and we're just kind of seeing that like it's only 2 weeks in, but like you get 27, 30 from Kyler and Richardson 1 week, and then, and Josh Allen, you get 9 the next. Because the passing's just not there. It's really reliant on the running game this year. So that's my trending down. And that was our trending up and trending down. Do you need me to explain to you again how that works?
I got it, man.
Okay.
Please don't Lil Bro me like CJ Stroud was doing to Caleb Williams.
He had no interest. Yeah, I get it, CJ. I'm way better than you.
That was your Little Bro segment of the week, brought to you by Mamitas.
Miller Lite. Moving on, we are going to get back to the crowd favorite. I was getting text after text, people begging me, sending me videos. People want to hear our suicide watch for the week.
This went viral on TikTok for, what was it?
In India, right?
Yeah. India, but also the Gulf regions. We had Jordan, Pakistan. It was really popping off across.
The Gulf region. Yeah, I always forget about the Gulf regions.
There was some craziness going on in the Dead Sea in regards to this suicide watch of the week.
Is that a political joke? Who you lead us off? Who's on suicide watch this week?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're fracking here in Jordan here for our suicide watch of the week, and I got to give it to, and I really think this is a two-horse race personally. So I'm gonna take one, you can take the other. You guys can put your bets on which horse is going to win this race. But
or finish last.
I'm going to go, because I've been there, I'm going to go with Mr. Casey Luna on Suicide Watch of the Week this week. Fun week 1, even with CMC going down. But then to lose, to have Puka go on IR, to lose Debo. It's just a 3-headed monster.
Josh Allen put up 11 points, I think, in our league.
Yeah, weird Josh Allen week, but I think more than anything, the injuries, it's just they're so demoralizing, and I've been there so many times where you're just like, especially early in the season, you just want to play. Like, just let me play. Let me see how this team does. Let me not like worry about all of the activity and trading and all the stuff that you just want to do for fun. You don't want to do it out of survival or necessity. This like sort of peace of mind. And I don't know how much Casey thinks that way, but I do when I'm in that situation. So I got to empathize with the dude. My bro, my pal, Casey Luna, man. If I were him, that's my suicide watch of the week. Just
I'm
already
6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking. Yeah, that's a tough one. It's a tough start. At least it's early in the season. At least he has 1 win under his belt. So there's still time to get right.
He's still got some players and he's still got Josh, man. So,
yep.
And he's playing Kendall this week.
Yeah. Speaking of Kendall, someone else familiar with Suicide Watch on this show, but Ken remains in Suicide Watch.
If you or a loved one is going through something, there's a number. We're going to give it at the end of the show.
We've taken his shoelaces away from him, his plastic toothbrushes, his belts. So Ken makes the list this week for a few reasons, but the biggest reason is that he lost, and if he would not have traded Marvin Harrison Jr. or Jordan Mason,
the butterfly effect,
he would have handily won. And probably poetic that Ben is the one that handed Ken the loss, and that had Ken held on to Mason, he would have won. And Mason is the one who gave Ben a loss. So for that reason, and also the fact that every time I open up the fantasy football app, I see that Ken has picked up some random 5th string RB that I've never heard of before.
I think he's just doing a lot of like pick up a handcuff guy and then drop him so he's on waivers and someone else can't pick him up to have him on the bottom of his bench when the games start and you can't hit that lotto ticket. It's a little gamesmanship.
It's a little gamesmanship, but if that is the strategy, and maybe I shouldn't say this on the podcast, and maybe everyone knows this, but you got to hold the guy for more than 24 hours from the hit waivers. Mm-hmm. If you pick him up and drop him, cycling through guys just in one day, they're going to be live still. So, but Ken, you and Sean Diddy Combs are very familiar with being on Suicide Watch at this point. But like I said, for Casey, it is early in the season. One of those 5-6 RBs you've got on your roster is going to hit. You're going to plug some holes. And you got Olave now. You went from MHJ to London to Olave. And JJ's still sick. Lamar, they're passing a lot more this year.
Let me just tell you this, Ken. I watched that hit. If Jefferson was on my team and got hit like that, he'd be out for at least 10 weeks. So
he'd be on IR for sure.
That's incredible coaching on your part, your training staff. Kudos to them. He got the green light. He's all clear. So that's big time, man. Can't afford to lose that guy on the team.
No, you can't. It will doom your season. You'll be running Spartan races.
No. No one else is running a Spartan race.
Oh, sorry. Okay. You'll be eating chicken wings.
Yeah. Easy punishment. But hey, I did want to just run through just a quick league highlight, some quick hitters. I don't want to go through a podcast without basically not mentioning everyone, right? So let's just go down the list just like in 15 seconds. Give a quick update of each team. I'll start with, well, we talked a lot about B's team already, so we'll move on. Graham, coming off a great win, picks up win number 1. Kamara goes for 40+. Those running backs are looking psychotic.
Minus Pacheco.
Loses Pacheco, but he's got some depth there to figure it out. A couple of the young receivers are looking promising, but those running backs are looking crazy. So.
Yeah, looking good, Graham. We got Evan up next. Evan, I'm playing you this week. Actually, Evan and I have a little bet on our game going.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, $50,000. I bet on Evan and he bet on me. So it's a win-win. Evan, boomer bust team, takes a big hit with Tua having to potentially retire from football. You got to imagine that's going to cap Tyreek's efficiency, at least in the short term. Maybe they'll get Tyler Huntley in there, and maybe he'll be able to air it out a little bit more. But Skylar Thompson is a glorified punt returner at quarterback. So that's Evan.
Tough go for Ev. I mean, he's got to not feel great, but the season is young, my friend. Common Daddy, we talked a little bit about your team, moving and grooving there. Hunter sitting at 2-0 with things that he probably wants to figure out. Took the big Cooper Kupp hit. That's a bummer. Ayuk looks like his arrow is going to be pointing way up with the state of that receiving room for the Niners. Pittman's looking pretty trash. So, I mean, there's things that he's probably going to want to improve upon, but he's 2-0, and that's always a good position to be in when you want to figure some spots on the roster out.
Hell yeah. Ben, you know what? We talked about Ben in our first episode, and I believe you said like he might be one of your least favorite teams. But this team's developing a little bit. You know, Jaden Daniels looks like a viable fantasy option week in and week out. The Josh Jacobs, Devon Achane, that duo is looking like Achane. That duo is looking like a pretty sick RB duo. Neighbors is looking really sick. Garrett Wilson finally caught a touchdown. So things are looking up for Ben.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, his team is solid. It's just, I still think the boomer bust is there, but at least a couple of the question marks for usage as of now have kind of been figured out. So Casey, we touched on his. Ken touched on his. Luke, shout out. I mean, the depth of the team is really standing out at this point. We'll see which guys develop into that top end, but the Chris Godwin renaissance in the first 2 weeks is a little annoying. We'll see how it goes, how it plays out.
I got a question about Luke's team while we're on this.
Are they going to score 70 this week? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You know, he's got so many pieces on this team. Aaron Jones is going to get hurt at some point.
Jones, bad. Javonte. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Javonte. But Tony Pollard's been looking really sick. Like, if you're Luke and Dom, do you need to start making moves now? Do you have the luxury of waiting? I know, you know, highest points last week and all that, but it just looks like you know, week in and week out, this team could change a lot.
Yeah, and that's why I was mentioning, was it for the second pod or the third pod about the sleeper team of the year? I mean, it's consistent with the teams that have been drafted in the past, but I don't know. It comes down to like, are Luke and Dom, are they going to take inbound calls? Are they going to do outbound calls? Are they going to proactively vet? Are they just going to reactively vet? I don't know. I don't know how active they are. If I'm them, I'm trying to flip value right now.
Get out of upgrade, like Godwin and Pollard for a stud. Like,
but at the same time, I could see the point of like the players are good enough to win games, and with all the injuries that have been happening, does it make sense to ride it out? They have depth to wear some injuries where other teams might not have them, right? So, if the team was going to maybe capsize in ceiling, and you start to see that, and maybe then you start attacking those trends and flipping them. But yeah, I don't think there's really a right or wrong way as of now, but the depth is still crazy, and it's just so dumb that I get to play Smith, of course, when he's going to be just a bona fide like workhorse with AJ Dunn.
Anyways, they're looking like a solid team.
Your team sucks, Luke.
Fuck you, Luke. Love you. We've talked about Spring's team, but Spring's team looks really good. A lot of depth. The receivers are a little up and down. Diggs is going to have big weeks, and he's going to have bad weeks, like we saw last week. Terry McLaurin's nowhere to be found. Mike Evans, same, and he's probably good for at least a couple hamstring injuries this year. So, but that running back core is looking really sick too. So, Spring, really liking your squad.
We'll see how it goes. And then lastly, Jay, RJ 0-2, been a tough go so far. Just short end of the stick. Even with 65 from his wide receivers last week, which is exactly how it's supposed to go because that's why he drafted them that way. So they each scored 20 plus. Wasn't able to pull it out, even though the guys that were supposed to do what they did it. The other guys just didn't do what they were supposed to do. So unlucky loss last week against me. Got super lucky there. So
it's you would expect that probably is that bad luck is going to get better as the season goes on. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So that was a little roundup. I just wanted to have everyone to get a little bit of touch there before we moved on.
Especially you, Ben. Thanks for listening to the podcast. We really appreciate it.
Ben, listen to the damn podcast, man. Seriously. I mean, do you want to talk some trash on Ben just to motivate him? Maybe he'll hear this and want to listen to it more.
Well, we
can leave it. Let's leave it for the baby shower.
Let's leave it for the baby shower. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we have a few things that are true in this world, true to their name. Integrity these days just isn't what it used to be. But we are happy to be able to bring you a one-of-a-kind interview with a one-of-a-kind guy. The only one true to his name, the undefeated, the Gaul.
Brennan, welcome to the Fantasy Football Till Death version 17 official podcast. I think you are going to be our first video guest. It's fitting. You are still undefeated, amazingly.
Yeah, true to your name.
Wow. Very, very amazing. Appreciate it. Apology ahead of time, guys.
All right, B. So first question. I think 2 weeks in, you've made the most moves of any manager in terms of trades, not pickups and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So how are you feeling about your team right now?
Versus how I felt after week one, better. Then I look at everyone else's team and I feel shitty. That's the genuine feeling. Yeah.
Why shitty?
There's just I'm playing Graham this week for starters. I look at Alvin Kamara playing like he was like 5 years ago. I look at like all the other running backs like Saquon Barkley. I look at Luke's team and the fact that he's got that stack right now and he doesn't even have to worry about Antonio Brown. I look at Hunter's team and I'm like, okay. And then I look at your team and it's like, okay, sick. I just gave you Jamar Chase. That's chill. So it's a give and take. It's kind of like you take something, you get everything you want. And then it's like, shit, why did I just give it this guy, this person? Or like, why did I just do this trade? So, I mean, yeah, even the trade with you, right? Like that trade made perfect sense for everything I needed. You got the guy that you deserve. You deserved Bijan. There's no doubt about it. And yeah, things happen like now. and then we get the butterfly effect where it's like, okay, now Mixon, you're out. Then Ken gives me that offer and that trade happens. And it's like, all right, I still feel like I'm just trying to stay head above water. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, that's a great recap there. But I think you could probably admit that it's good to be treading water at 2-0 though, right? It's a lot harder to be treading water when you're 0-2.
Yeah, but as you guys know, as fun as it is to win and have a good record, all it takes is one game to lose and then you're out. You know what I mean? By the end.
Yeah.
B, so, you mentioned the trades.
Yeah.
I want to go touch on this a little bit more deeply here.
Please.
I want to know the psychology, right? Your trades have been this last year the subject of a lot of talk because they haven't always been super conventional, right? So
sure.
I want you to walk me through the way that you approach the trades, walk me through the psychology and why you've made the moves that you have over this last season and a half.
Yeah. So, I mean, trades are always a negotiation, right? It's a give and take, so we need to find a common ground where it's like both the pie gets bigger essentially. Right. Mm-hmm. So I'll admit last year, the trades that I did were definitely maybe more reactive or more of like forecasting than they were like, okay, yeah, this is sick right now. Like the Addison trade and the Jamar Chase trade, probably wouldn't do that this year if it was the same scenario, if I'm being totally honest.
They worked out.
Yeah.
It did, but that was luck. That was a lot of luck. I'll be the first one to admit that.
Okay.
This year, it was pretty clear and obvious that it's like, okay, yeah, I won week 1 and I literally could have started nobody at 2 wide receivers. Like it didn't matter. Like yeah. So that was an outlier.
Who were you playing week 1?
I started Mike Williams.
No. Who did you play in the league week 1?
Sam. I played
Sam. That's right.
What was that? You said you could have started no one at wide receiver and one.
Yeah. I could have started you guys saw the op-ed. I could have started 2 ham sandwiches. Wouldn't have mattered.
So sick. Love fantasy.
Yeah, so that was very clear that something had to change. Rome was not what I thought he was. He had the low grade sprain. It just wasn't making so much sense. So, and that one, Gatto, you reached out to me. You obviously had an interest in Bijan. You offered a really fair trade that was really beneficial for my situation. So the pie looked like it was going to grow bigger. Like Bijan can easily be a guy that gets like 20 touchdowns and like go off and whatnot. He didn't do that yet because it's only been 1 week. But there's a good outlook for him. Obviously, you spent a lot of money on him, but it didn't matter, So that happened. And then Sam, I think you gave me a pitch for an idea after week 2 about our trade. And that was another one where it was like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. The only kind of complication we had was, looking to see where am I going with this? The running back. Yeah.
Bucky Irving.
Yeah, exactly. Bucky. Yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah, Rashad, he's clearly not right now like super efficient. That could change. Like he maybe he's warming up, who knows, but there's competition. Bucky looks like he's getting touches. The idiot that I had already dropped Braylon Allen. So like I've already kind of been a witness to how that goes. So yeah, that was something that I just had to do. Then Kendall did something really similar that he did a couple weeks ago where he offered me just a really good opportunity. And I don't love Drake, one way or the other, or it's whatever, but yeah, I mean, you can't say no to that. He handed me an opportunity. I mean, I think that you can probably make the argument one way or the other that you want about who's better, Olave or Drake. But it doesn't really matter. Like they're pretty apples to apples, like I think that Drake doesn't look like he's going to be, like if you base him off the first 2 years, who knows, but he's had crappy quarterbacks. Now he's got Kirk Cousins. So maybe he'll be as good as Olave. I don't know. But it's still to be determined. So yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, it also gives me, a running back. So that looks like he'll get touches. So I'll take that deal.
Just go real quick. Yeah. I have to say though, one thing that I do admire about your trades is that you're trying to win week over week, right? You say tread water. And I think that's super important in fantasy, that a lot of people, they think there's a splash here. more important things because they're thinking long term, they're thinking upside, they're thinking end of season. But people don't focus enough about winning week over week because there's a weekly game. So I got to say, the trades that I've seen, you are trying to win each matchup week over week and let the chips fall where they may. So, I got to give you props in that way.
Props for sure.
5-5, brother. 5-5. 5-5 to that. To Brother Schultz, too.
Yeah, for Brother Schultz. I got one other question for you.
What's up?
I think you're the most experienced person with trades in our league this season, maybe last season too. You have any advice for those looking to get into the trading game? Maybe people who are dealers out.
About
what maybe they could consider to get deals done.
Here's what I'll say. Don't just trade because you see people are trading. That's my first piece of advice, especially to some person who's done that or has reached out to me about that. 2, shoot an offer. Just shoot an offer out and see where the water's at. Don't say, hey, I want to get in this mix. Send me something over there to see how things work. Because I don't want to send you anything. Just I have no interest in sending you something. That's more work for me. But if you send me something and it makes sense, I'll always be okay for it. So yeah, just keep stirring the pot. Throw in a trade, see what happens. Just like my team, like from 2 years ago.
That's a valuable nugget of information to the mind of Brendan Hurley.
Yeah.
And for the rest of people, just know your league mates. Everyone's a little bit different. You have to know how to speak to them, talk to them, work with them. Not everyone's the same way. You got to nurture those relationships and figure out what works as far as your communication goes, because it's not set and forget when it comes to trading.
Yeah. And one other thing, don't offer me your wide receiver 3 when I know that you're looking to just get probably Kieran Williams or whoever else I have left on my team that has star power. Don't bring up Zay Flowers to me, please. I'm not interested. That's my last piece of advice.
Hypothetically, if you were to hypothetically don't offer him to you for Kieran Williams.
Don't offer me. Just don't. I see where you're going with it. I see where your mind's thinking. Let's just get that out of the way. It's okay. I don't want to pay $10 for the apple. Yeah.
We love that. People, I got one last thing. Talk about getting to know your league mates better. Give you a minute or two. Anything new you got going on in your life? Anything you want to share with the league? Just as far as personal life, Brendan Hurley.
Yeah, so Caleb's doing well, 2.5 now. We got him over in a Spanish daycare, so that's why you saw me speaking a little Spanish to him there earlier.
Spanish.
Yeah, it's called Estrellitas. Other than that, family's good. Still here in the DC area, so still in the Eastern time zone. Nothing too crazy, guys. All is good over here.
All right.
Oh yeah, man.
Guest number 1 on the video. The video.
5-5.
So nice to get Brendan on the podcast, don't you think?
Yeah, and it's hard to get on. It's not easy. I mean, we're getting bombarded, texts, calls, emails. Our socials are getting blown up. DMs.
People showed up at my house.
We had people talking to our people to get on. I mean, it really is a rat race. So I guess kudos to B for making it happen. We're obviously happy to accommodate. We love that guy. And if you guys want to get on the pod in the same way Brendan just was, please hit us up. Continue to hit us up. Continue to reach out. We promise. We can't always get back to everyone, but eventually you will make it on. So yeah, we highly encourage you to keep doing that.
Hell yeah. Amen.
Shout out to B though.
Shout out to B. Thanks, B. All right, let's get on to our power ranking section of this episode. And we're going to do things a little bit different this time. Instead of doing our power rankings for general overall, we are going to do our power rankings of the week. Top 3, bottom 3 for week 3 of the NFL season. Do you want to lead us off? Your top 3? And do you understand what we're doing here? By top, do you know what I mean by that? Best. The teams that you like the best this week.
Yeah. Okay. The teams I like. My top 3.
Top 3.
Okay. Well, top 3. Man, I think, which is great. I think we have an amazing amount of parity in the league so far. I think injuries are really gonna be impacting this list right now. And this is a week-to-week thing. That's why we do it, right? This is not to say who has the best shot overall if everything's working out. This is which team I think is the best right now, and I'm going to give it to Luke. I have to give him. I mean, he's sitting there in first. Obviously, a very strong week 2 does that. being 2-0 and that high score last week. But I think the depth top to bottom, and he's got the upstart guys that annoyingly look like they're going to potentially pan out with the Pollard and the B-Rob. It's just dumb. But
B-Rob looking sick.
I'm going to give him one. He's got the Jalen Hurts, who has that rare QB1 upside. As you mentioned, QBs have been up and down, but he's got that as well. Randomly has 2 really good tight ends in a time where tight ends are just a freaking rare commodity. So I got to give it to Luke. And like I said, that could change because injuries will be popping up and, a couple of those guys go down or a couple guys get healthy on other teams and maybe that could flip. But I got Luke at 1. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep Spring at 2. I'm going to put him at 2. I have question marks about, like you said, those wide receivers, but everyone has question marks all over the place. The Cook, Taylor, and
McLaurin.
McLaurin. He's not making the list of.
Oh, you're talking about his running backs.
I'm talking the running backs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gibbs, Taylor, Cook combo, and with the guys that can have the production at the wide receiver spot. They're not like huge weaknesses. It's just a matter of how consistent they'll be. I still think top to bottom that floor is very high. So, and I think just having a high floor is hard right now with all the injuries and everything that goes along with that. So I'm going to give him their number 3 or number 2. And then 3, dude, I'm going to be biased. I'm going to give it to myself.
Let's go.
I'm going to give it to myself.
Congratulations, man.
Even with AJ
Congratulations.
Even with him out, because I'm confident that Dak is going to turn it around. And I just think that Bijan Breeze duo is going to do some crazy things.
It's a really sick duo.
I'm going to give myself the 3 ball there.
It's a big duo. I've got the same top 2 as you. So for basically the same reasons that you just said. My 3rd this week is Ben. Ben, This is a Ben appreciation episode all of a sudden, but
you suck, Ben.
You suck, Ben. I think Chain's going to probably catch a shit ton of passes from Skylar Thompson. Josh Jacobs is running the ball 75 times a game. Neighbors is looking pretty sick. Garrett Wilson already scored a touchdown this week. So I'm going to give it to Ben this week. We'll see about next week.
I bet Ben doesn't break 100 this week.
Probably.
If I was betting.
Yeah.
Jaden in Cincinnati. Malik at Cleveland. Daniel Jones won't have any time to throw. DeMarcus, he'll completely flop. Jacobs at Tennessee, they'll shut him down. Yeah, he's going to not break 100. He's starting DeAndre Swift, even in a good matchup.
Dude, DeAndre Swift is sick, man.
Ben,
he's sick.
I'm never, unless you text me and say you listen to the podcast, I'm not going to say a nice thing about you this whole year. So just know that. Just know that.
All right, bottom 3.
Lead us off.
Bottom 3. I'll start. 3rd worst. Okay, the 3rd worst team.
Awkward. This is an awkward section.
Awkward is Kendall Cook. 3rd worst team. Yeah, 3rd worst team this week. And that is because he does have JJ. Olave is apparently playing on the best offense in the NFL. Samaje.
Oh, Olave's sick now.
Yeah,
Olave's sick. He's sick now. I draft him. He's not sick, but but he's sick now. He's sick on Kendall's team.
Patience is a virtue. Samaje, might catch 7 passes or something like that. So that
I like how we have to justify
his bad
guys to make it 3rd worst. I like this.
Well, so his running back situation is not as bad this week as it was last week, I think. So for that reason, he's 3rd worst. 2nd worst.
Yeah, the P. Ryan Herbert combo is significantly better, I think, than the Jalen Wright.
The Jalen Wright 1 touch for 3 yards or something like that. I did say it in the podcast last week that Ken's 3 RB ceiling was 5 total points, and I think they scored like 5.1 total points or something like that. So it should be a little bit better this week. Ooh, 11th. This is kind of a toss-up, but I'm probably going to have to give it to my guy, Jason Gregory. Jason, you're not 12th, so that's good. But you're not good this week either, unfortunately. CJ Stroud, tough matchup in Minnesota. Hasn't really been putting up great numbers to start the season anyways. We talked a little bit about that with quarterbacks. CD got a little banged up this week. Marvin Harrison had a sick first quarter last week. I'm not taking anything away from that. But other than that, has played 7 quarters of pretty forgettable football.
It's got 0.9 points in 7 quarters.
Yeah. So Tank Dell, a lot of mouths to feed on that offense. Zach Moss is really bad. Chuba Hubbard's horrible. Sam Laporta hasn't shown up this season. And Zay Flowers is exciting, but,
you should trade him for Kieran Williams.
Oh, maybe. Do you think? Yeah.
There's a chance.
That, we
miss
should.
Every shot you
maybe
don't take.
we can match make that situation. Yeah. So anyways, Jay, you get 11th. And so that means.
Quick little just tangent here. I'm sorry. Could you imagine a world where Brendan and Jason make a trade?
No.
Are there?
I would love to see that.
We need to do a segment where we match make the least and most compatible trade.
We're going to do
partners.
that next episode.
Stay tuned next week. We're doing that. It's a little dating show.
Let's write that down so we don't forget. So Jay, you're 11th. That's better than 12th. And unfortunately, that leaves Mr. Casey Luna in 12th place this week. The team name is starting to look a little foreboding for Casey. Double knee brace. And his team needs a couple of knee braces this week for sure. So,
how many knee braces do you think Casey has? He owns. You think more than two, or just?
Yeah, it's got to be more than two. Yeah, backups. He has backup knee braces.
Do you think he has different knee braces for different physical activities?
Like a grocery store knee brace, hiking knee brace. I don't know. We'll have to ask him. Maybe we'll get him on the podcast. We'll have to talk to his people.
Yeah.
Josh Allen anchoring the squad still, but we saw last week that Josh Allen's capable of scoring single-digit points occasionally. Wide receiver room is, leaves a little bit to be desired.
Just a tad bit, huh?
The Montgomery-Mason combo is solid, though. I will give him that. But imagine what this team would look like without Mason on it. Oh, my gosh. And then Gabe Davis, Pat Fryermuth, so he's going to need, I think, like 35-point games out of both his running backs to have a shot to be in contention this week. So that's my bottom three.
I like it. This is tough, man. It's a tough segment to go in on your buddies. Bottom three, though, and hey, this is just this week and literally long season.
This is just on a week-to-week basis, so everything can change.
I'm starting Ladidi McConkey, probably. We'll see. I might start a different receiver. I'm starting, Mr. Ridley and JSN. So, you can talk a lot of trash in my wide receiver room. That's for sure.
Wait, but you just gave yourself third best team. You're not about to give yourself third worst team too, right?
It's called Inception.
Oh my God.
No, I'm not. I'm overly empathizing with our league mates about my bottom three that I'm about to give. Right?
Zoned out for a second.
I'm trying to be overly nice here. I'm trying to keep my trade partners there. I'm trying to keep everyone simpatica.
Simpatico.
Right? I'm not trying to be the bad guy. All right, third worst. It's tough, but I think I'm gonna have to give it to Brendan. B, I love you. Thanks for coming on the show. I'm just really not.
Wow, I'm doing our guests like that.
I know. It's just a tough week. He's got Kittle out, Mixon's out. We just don't know what's going to happen with Akers. I think Brendan will probably say he probably feels pretty squirrely about it. But I mean, Kittle was a really big part of the offense last week.
Yeah.
I have Schultz in a different league. He is miserable to trot out there. He's going to need a big Richardson week. Pierce, he probably doesn't feel great about starting him. The London Metcalf combo, as the heavy hitters, can't do worse than week one for him. But yeah, it's just personally, I don't feel great about it. So that's the third worst. Second worst. Man, I hate to do this to you, Ev, but I got to give it to Ev this week. We need to see something good happen. I think, Ev, we need to see Hill pop. We need to see Mahomes have a Mahomes game. From what we've seen so far, it's leaving that sort of bad taste in the mouth. So until they show the pop-off, which was the team was built around the pop-off, it's leaving me feeling a little squirrely. So let's get some pop-off games.
Av's about to score 148 points this week.
Let's get some pop-off games. The Warren Eckler combo, I know he's probably not stoked, but he just
touchdowns for both of them this week. Mark my words.
Hey, those guys are those guys. So, and then last, as much as I really do appreciate the Montgomery and Mason combo, I got to give it to Casey as well. He's just dealing with a lot.
Dealing with a lot.
He's dealing with a lot.
It's just bad luck.
That's
honestly.
it. Just bad luck. Just totally bad luck. It's kind of hard to lose 3 guys that are being drafted in the first 2 rounds of ADP-driven drafts.
He's 3 injuries away from us potentially putting him at the top of this list.
If all of those guys were healthy, I think he would be my number 1, I think.
Yep.
Obviously, we'd have to see how they played out in that way, but yeah. And that's the bottom 3. Sorry,
and
guys.
that's the bottom 3. Wah, wah.
But hey, I like this next section.
Yeah.
We got
a new section we cooked up for you guys. It's our Degenerate Gamblers Corner section. What we are going to do is snake style. We are going to go through all 12 teams in this league and
all 6 matchups,
which is 6 matchups if you're doing math. And whoever's turn it is to draft is going to draft one side of the matchup, and the other person by default gets the other side. So let me try to make that more clear.
This is Gambler's Alley, brought to you by Captain Morgan Lambite.
So we've got 6 matchups this week. Thomas and I are going to take turns going through each matchup and picking who we think is going to win.
We're building a 6-team parlay. The trick is we only get to pick 3 teams ourselves. And then the opposite of what the other team picks is what we get locked into it, right? And so we have to hit all 6. If we do that, what do you want to put on it? 50, 100?
50 buckaroos.
$50 to hit the parlay, but we have to get all 6 matchups right, and we only get to pick 3. So
Yes.
It's a Build-A-Bear. It's a build your own parlay, except we got to just take the opposite of what the other person picks.
Does that sound clear to everyone? All right, good. So to figure out who goes first,
rock, paper, scissors.
Let's pick a number between 1 and 10. Go. I've got the number.
Okay, 9.
Shoot, it was 1.
Okay, you start us off.
No, okay. Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay, ready.
On 3?
Rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah.
Or rock, paper, scissors, shoot?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, go.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors. Bam!
I suck at that game.
Rock beats scissors every time, and we'll just start at the top of the list and go down. How about that?
Perfect.
Unbreakable versus Luke and Dom's fantasy team. I'm going to take you so that you have to take
No way.
Damn
I've already got. Did anyone reach back? I mean, I know I bet on Luke, and all I got was, is that voodoo? Yes, it is. It's also hedging, Luke. It's hedging, not voodoo. I'll take Luke. I'd like a chance to actually win the money up front without having to hit a 16 parlay, but
Yep. So it goes.
okay. So why are you picking me? Just
It
that?
felt right. Yeah.
Just felt right?
Bijan, Brees, big.
Just make it happen.
And we already saw
Ferguson's back, dude. My
information
Dak
there.
Ferguson stag is
Yeah.
now it's been holding me back.
Dak, they might be in a shootout. So yeah, I'm gonna go with you.
All right, I got the second pick now. We're just going to go down the line. Welcome Pandemonium, Graham against Carry Them Caleb. The guest, I mean, I can't say what I just said a few minutes ago and not go with Graham. I'm taking G. He got 16 from the Jets defense on a Thursday night.
Solid.
Redemption song from that week 1 showing that ultimately led to the loss. I got Graham. I think he's going to be putting up some points this week, and it's going to be a tough one for Brendan to take home. So give me Graham.
Hell yeah. Moving on. Next matchup is Ben and Hunter, and I got to stick true to my guns here, and I gotta. Actually, you know what? I put Hunter was ahead of Ben. Ben was our 3rd top this week. So Hunter.
No, he wasn't. No. Hunter wasn't on the
list.
list. It was Luke, Tripp, and then you picked Ben.
Oh shoot! I tuned out. Ben, I'm taking Ben.
Okay. Give me Hunter, dude. My parlay's looking silky
Your parlay's
at
looking
this point.
stacked, dude.
I got
can't wait
Luke,
to send
Graham,
you
and Hunter.
$50.
Let's go. This is supposed to be a fun segment. I'm actually about to win this building. I'm going to build a winning lineup here.
Oh, Hannah texted me. She said, "Are you going to be home in 2 minutes?"
She said, "Are you still watching
Just
football?"
about to leave.
Are you still watching football?
She doesn't understand. Moving on to the next one.
I would love to get the girl's point of view from the sentence, "Are you still watching football?" Is Jess awake? No. Jess is upstairs, or else I would grab her and ask her that question. Okay. Sorry, I keep getting sidetracked here, but game 4, and it's my pick. It's Kendall against Casey. I'm going with Kendall, even though I think this is a literal coin flip. I'll take Kendall in this matchup. I feel like
Dude, your parlay's looking sick.
something's about to give. Ray Rice is going to pop off. Lamar's going to have a huge game. Oh, I feel bad. It's tough betting on Kendall's team right now.
Rice.
Ray Rice. Ray Rice?
Ray Rice is about to have a huge game.
I wouldn't put it past him. He's on Ben's team somehow, so maybe make a trade for him. Yeah, I got Kendall.
And our second to final matchup of the week. Wop, 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 wop.
Do you know what that's from? Do you know?
Yeah,
what that's
we
from?
did confirm in the group chat.
Not a dick.
It's a dick. It's a dick. It's from Pornhub. Actually, it's his favorite video on Pornhub. Jay versus Double Hattie Bro, and I got to take Spring, even though this is projected to be a close matchup. So Spring, I'm riding with you.
Spring's riding with Jay. We actually have a bet. Spring is hedging his matchup against Jay by betting on Jay with me. So I think we got a 10 spot on that game. Yeah, I'll take Jay. If there's a week for his strategy to sort of come into focus a little bit, he's got great matchups. The Zach Moss in a positive game script on paper matchup against the bad Washington defense. And then Chuba against the Raiders. He looked good last week against the Chargers.
With the Red Rocket injecting
with
some
the Red Rocket
optimism into that offense.
So if there was a time for him to get more than 6 combined points from running backs, it's this week. So give me Jay.
Give me Jay.
All right. Lastly, I'm going to go, and we're going Horse Lords and Call Me Daddy. Evan, dude, I love you, my friend. I got to go with Sam on this one. But I hope the guys prove me wrong and pop off and you guys are in a nice little shootout. But I'll take Call Me Daddy.
I don't want to be 0-3. Gosh. Anyways, that was Gamblers Addicted Degenerate Corner.
Welcome to Gambler's Alley. Brought
Sponsored
to you by Captain Morgan.
Bye. Anyways, all right. Well, we're about to wrap it up, but before we do, we want to do one final thing just to get our minds off fantasy football a little bit. We're going to implement a segment every week called Story Corner. Check-in/Story Corner. So, but do you want to lead us off? What do you want to get off your chest? How's life at home?
Man, I feel like it's not therapy, but I think this is a good time to, really tell you some things that have been burning inside about our friend group. No, I think rarely do we actually, have a chance to really check in with everyone. Right. I love the opportunity to have Brendan on, try to check in with him at the end of that little episode with him. But, just to kind of check in and say what's going on in our lives. I mean, I know we talk fantasy, we talk work, we talk all this other stuff, but sometimes we don't just do the basic stuff, like I'm sure a lot of people don't know I moved. Jess and I moved
Toledo, right?
Oceanside.
Oh, Oceanside.
We went from coastal Oceanside to down the old stomping grounds almost. We're a little bit inland and a nice little spot. We're super excited to welcome the baby in here, and we're just renting. Obviously, it's just not a great time for us to buy down here yet, but super cool spot. We're excited. We don't know how long we're going to be here for, but it's beautiful. Jess has been hard at work. We've had a lot of hands help us with the move and then with getting everything to feel like home. You
guys have made so much progress. It's been 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Holy crap. It looks like you guys are looking super settled. It's looking really, really good here.
Yeah. Obviously, I did virtually nothing besides lift things and help in that way. But it's really come along. Shout out to everyone that helped. Sam helped all day with the move. That was amazing. But tomorrow, Saturday, we have our baby shower. Excited for those of you that are going to be able to show up and make it. For those of you that can't, obviously no worries at all. Thanks for reaching out. It's an exciting time, man. It's crazy. It's nerve wracking. We're about 2 months out, maybe a little bit more, but we're just excited to welcome baby boy. And right now we're just trying to hammer out a name. So if you guys have any suggestions that aren't your own names, feel free to send over. But other than that, and Gretel. Yeah. I'll take them both. But yeah,
you guys are going to crush it. This is a great spot for you guys to welcome your son, your own baby boy.
It's crazy.
So crazy.
It's crazy. But yeah, things are good. And just, I'm just about to hit month 3 working for a new company, which I do fully remote now, which has been a big blessing. I was looking for it with the baby upcoming. So, that's my little check-in.
I love it, man. Well, I've just got a short little story time.
Yeah, let's get it.
I'm a few months into the parent situation myself. And, it's really fun. It's an amazing journey navigating that with your partner, and everyone's got their own style, and you've got this life that's connected intimately to both of you and all that. So it's wild. But I caught Hannah a couple days ago.
Doing what?
Pulling her parenting tactics on me. She hit me with the, I'm not saying no, I'm just saying not right now.
Oh, okay. What was the situation?
I told her she should name her fantasy team Bijan's Big Cock. I thought it would be funny. And she hit me with that just so nonchalantly.
Like she's a natural.
Like it wasn't a joke. She just slipped it in there, and it almost worked on me. It took me 5 seconds to circle back, and I said, "Did you just tell me no, but not right? Or I'm not saying no, but I'm saying not right now." Like so casually.
She said, I know the usage has been great and he's put up some good yardage, but until he has a multi-touchdown game, I'm not naming my team after his.
She said, and I quote, "Until there's a leak and I can confirm for sure that he's as big as your forearm, I'm not naming the team Bijan's Big Cock." So, no, but she just hit me with that notion. And it was like a beautiful moment because she rolled that out so ninja.
Do you anticipate her saying that exact sentence when your daughter Scarlett asks if she can join OnlyFans?
Yeah, maybe. And I'm going to have this weird deja vu because I'll have forgotten this conversation. But yeah, the way she rolled that out, it gave me in the same moment, so much comfort knowing that I have an amazing partner that's going to be an amazing mother as we continue to raise our daughter. And then it also scared the shit out of me because she just Jedi mind tricked me as well. And then I was like, how many times has she treated me like an 11-year-old and gotten away with it? But I am an 11-year-old. So anyways, that was story time. And that is episode 4 of the pod. We appreciate you guys continuing to listen and all the feedback. Honestly, when we started this, we thought the chances of people listening was maybe a few people would listen to a few minutes of the pod. But we really like making it week to week. So,
yeah, echo what Sam said. We appreciate it. We have a lot of fun. And then we have a lot of fun with enthusiasm when you guys are reaching out, asking when the pod's dropping, sending comments the exact amount of time of the length of the podcast after we drop it.
Yeah.
So clearly you just listened to it. It's awesome. It's cool. I mean, obviously, we're putting some time into doing it. We love doing it, but yeah, great to see the support there. And hopefully we can, obviously continue to do it and have more fun with it and get everyone involved. So
hell yeah. You know what? Good luck to everyone this weekend, except for Evan.
Good luck, guys. Ben, your team sucks.
Thanks for listening, Ben.
Tomorrow, Luke, trade all your guys, man. They're all really, really bad.
Listen to us. We know what we're talking about.
Later, dudes.
Later.
Each time